He told me I can't do it. I'm not capable. Well, that means I've got to do it twice and take film of it. I don't know about you, but when somebody tells me I'm just not capable of doing something and that I'll never be able to accomplish it and it's just hopeless, well, that means I've got to do it twice and take film of it. That's just the way it is. I just do not, and if you really want me to do something, tell me it's impossible for me to do it. And I'll most likely do it. I mean, because if somebody else has done it, I can do it. That's the way I see it. There's nobody has the exclusive ability to do anything. So, what am I talking about? I'm talking about plating metal. I talked to a guy at a plating shop. I was doing some work on his heating system. And I told him what I wanted to do. I wanted to copper plate my parts of my engine. And he goes, "Can't do it at home. Can't do it in your garage. Nope. You just don't have the equipment and you're not going to be able to make it right and you're not going to be happy with the results." He says, "You need to bring it to me." And I said, "Okay, well, what's it going to cost me to do my valve cover?" Now, mind you, I want to do several things, but I asked him just about the valve cover. He estimated it would cost about $800 for him to copper plate my valve cover. I'm thinking, well, okay, if it's that bad, I won't copper plate anything. I'll just do it in powder coat. But he told me I can't do it. I'm not capable. I looked at a bunch of plating videos on how to plate metal with copper. And they make it look pretty simple. But granted, everything that they plate on these videos is small. It's little pieces. And so the main reason the guy gave me that I couldn't do it was that I couldn't come up with enough amps. I have a battery charger that puts out DC volts. He told me that he runs about 45 amps on 9 volts. And I've got a setting between 6 volts and 12 volts. So that's just on either side of it. So I can get higher amps out of 6 volts than I can out of 12. So I'm going to try 6 volt electricity and let it find its own amps, and then I'm going to try it. I mean, hey, what's the worst that can happen? I hate it. Okay, so what? I hate it. So if I hate it, I'll sand it down, get it ready, and I'll powder coat it. So either way, I'm not spending $800 to copper plate one part. But one way or the other, these things are going to be shiny copper when I'm done. And you get to come along for the ride because several people have said, "Hey, film the process. Show us what happens." Well, no problem, my friend. It's going to happen right here. So the first thing we have to do is clean the parts, because whether I am going to powder coat these or if I'm going to plate them, they have to be clean and all the paint has to be gone. So here's the process of getting rid of the paint. The first thing you do when you're removing paint is you have to clean the part. Now these parts came off a greasy old engine, so I washed them with a pressure washer, and then I took the parts off and individually scrubbed each one with a brush. Now I used dish soap and this brush. This is my brush, not my wife's brush. Trust me, do not use your wife's favorite brush to do this, because you will destroy it and you'll never live it down. Another thing you can do to make sure your parts are extra clean is put them in a dishwasher and run them. Now I know they make parts washers that you put a part in and you turn it on and it's like a commercial washing machine. It's pressure washes it and soap and just makes them sparkle. And that's nice if you have the money to buy one of those and space in your garage to put one. A regular household dishwasher will do the trick for most parts. Now, you have to be careful. I recommend that you get one just for your shop. Install it in your shop. Use it in your shop for cleaning parts. And trust me on this one, voice of experience, do not go in the kitchen and use your wife's dishwasher.
I'm going on record saying this is a really bad idea.
Yeah, bad idea. Because no matter how much you try to clean up after yourself, you're going to miss something. She's going to know. She'd never approved to begin with. And then when she finds the evidence, oh Lord have mercy. Yep, you earned that one, pal. So don't do that. Learn from me, don't do that. It's going to take several videos because I just can't get it all done in one weekend. But it's going to happen. And we're going to see how it works. I'll walk you through the process. And, you know, you can learn with me because I've never plated anything before. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. Now we need to get the paint off of this because if you're going to plate or if you are going to do powder coat, there can't be any paint underneath. So I am going to brush on a liberal amount. You really can't put too much on there because, I mean you can because you'll waste it, and then you got to let it sit and do its job. I know that's the hardest part. It's like the hardest part of painting is watching the paint dry. Well, it's just as bad when you're stripping paint. Get that worked into all the little nooks and crannies and crevices and cracks, because cleanliness is absolutely job number one. All right, time to let it sit and do its job, and I'll come back in a while. Well, you can see that after several hours of sitting on there, the paint is thoroughly compromised and bubbled up. So I'm going to go clean this off and compare it to what was before. Okay, after a thorough cleaning, the aluminum part did pretty good. I mean, it's still got some paint along the edges there because it's apparently thicker there, but most of it came right off, and wow, that's pretty clean. The steel, however, it's a lot better than it was, but you can still see a lot of paint on that metal. Look at that. That is a testament to the kind of paint Ford Motor Company puts on their engines. My goodness, that is some tough, tough paint. It's going to take at least one more trip around the block with this paint stripper, maybe a couple, but definitely making headway. Alright, time for an update. I finally got the paint off of these bad boys, as you can tell, but there is so much pitted rust. By the time I got rid of the pits and filled in the pits, you know, got rid of the rust, filled in the pits, smoothed that out, polished all that, I would have so many hours of work into these parts. It's not worth doing. It's the same with the valve cover. The valve cover is just pitted so badly. It's really not a surprise because the truck they came off of was rusted. And so it makes sense that the engine is. The thing that surprises me is the oil pan, at how nice the oil pan is. It's not very rusty at all and not very pitted, and I'm painting it, so it's not going to matter. So I'm going to clean up and paint the oil pan, and I'm going to finish drying these off, and I'm going to put them back on the motor as they are and use them to cover the holes while I paint. And I'm going to buy a new valve cover and a new side cover, and those are the ones I'm going to plate. So these have been relegated to masking. So the timing cover, on the other hand, is in remarkably good shape, remarkably clean, and that turned out really nice. And so I'm going to go ahead and powder coat that as soon as I'm going to do a little more prep to it, but it's pretty darn close to ready for powder coat right now. But these, although it could be done for 50-60 bucks, I can get a chrome valve cover that's already polished and I can copper plate it. For about the same price, I can get one of these brand new in raw metal. It's like $47 for one of these. I can't even buy the materials to fix these for that amount of money. So it just makes sense to buy brand new and fix those and just use these to protect the engine from the paint when I paint the block. So that's what I'm going to do. I want to thank everybody for watching, and please click like and subscribe, and share this with other people, because you know what? The more the merrier. Let's have a blast, guys. And remember, do a little every day, because a lot of littles add up to a big.